As we head deeper into the 21st century, Peter Drucker's legacy lives on. It lives on through those who continue to hail his path-breaking insights, and through those businesses and nonprofits on which Drucker left an indelible imprint. His legacy lives on through the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of the Drucker Ito School of Management, where Drucker taught for the last 4 decades of his storied career. It lives on through the Peter F. Drucker Academy in China. It lives on through the Drucker Difference column in Business Week magazine. And it lives on, above all, through Drucker's own words, his 39 books and countless articles on organizations, social responsibility, innovation, and effectiveness. But Drucker's legacy also lives on through a unique set of volunteer organizations that are actively converting his teachings into real results. These Drucker Societies are drawing on Drucker's vast body of work for information and inspiration as they seek to effect positive change in their local communities. It was just 2 years ago when a vision for the Drucker Societies began to take shape. 3 groups, one in China, one in Japan, and one in Korea, had sprung up organically, advancing Drucker's principles in distinct ways, through classes and workshops and reading clubs. Back at Claremont Graduate University, Drucker's old home, officials took note of this natural wellspring of interest and raised an exciting question. Could this be the start of something bigger, something much bigger? And so a meeting was convened, the first Drucker Society Global Symposium in the summer of 2007. What emerged from that 3-day gathering was a clear expression of interest in carrying forward Drucker's wisdom. In the ensuing months, new societies were launched around the globe, with the Drucker Institute, a Claremont-based think tank and sister institution to the Drucker School, serving as the hub of this burgeoning network. Still, something was missing. Over the next year, a key turn would come in the network's thinking. Rather than having small groups of Drucker aficionados discuss his work among themselves, it became clear that, to have the greatest impact, the societies would need to reach out into the wider community. They would need to orient themselves to action, to be ever mindful that they must, as Drucker himself put it, measure results in changed lives. By implementing a slate of programs developed in conjunction with the Drucker Institute, the Drucker Society Network has begun to flourish and meet its mission, stimulating effective management and ethical leadership. Very quickly, the societies have started to become a living, breathing embodiment of Peter Drucker's ideas and ideals. In Philadelphia, for example, a group of local executives from the corporate and nonprofit arenas have formed a Drucker Society that is dedicated to fostering, in their words, principled, effective, and responsible management. To this end, they are meeting with local leaders from different sectors to share Drucker's call for commitment to closing what we've termed the responsibility gap, society's collective failure to be good stewards of our institutions, our resources, our people, and our values. The first responsibility of a professional, Drucker reminds us, was spelled out clearly 2,500 years ago in the Hippocratic Oath of the Greek physician primum non nocere, above all, do no harm. The Responsibility Gap program seeks to make an impact in 2 ways, by inspiring participants to be more socially responsible and in turn, spurring them to bring about needed changes in their organizations. The Mumbai Drucker Society recently delivered the Responsibility Gap presentation, and the impact was immediate and profound. After hearing Drucker's words about the importance of seeing workers as assets and not merely costs on the balance sheet, K.H. Malesha, a director at Capson Ceramics, issued the following message to his colleagues. "Let us jointly resolve that we shall not resort to a pink slip system in our organization," he told them. "Let us take an oath that we all will act as a change group. Now, onwards, every passive concern of ours will be transformed into active involvement. No, or impossible, will not be part of our dictionary." In Dubai, meanwhile, the Drucker Society of the Gulf States has reached out to an often ignored element of the population, women seeking to enter the business world. By holding workshops centered around Drucker's theories on innovation and entrepreneurship, Drucker Society volunteers are equipping these women with tools they need to successfully bring their ideas to the marketplace. More than 3,500 miles away in China, student-led Drucker societies, known locally as Drucker clubs, are consulting with businesses to make them more effective and focused on more than just short-term profits. Recently, Drucker Club members from Guangzhou Foreign Language University worked with a commercial nursery, the Baoku Rose Garden, to provide organizational insights based on Drucker's teachings. By surveying and conducting interviews with employees, the Drucker Club found ways for the Rose Garden to improve its workers' sense of mission, remove duplication of duties, and steer the company toward a vital Drucker principle, listening to what the customer values. In all, there are more than 700 Drucker Club members across China. Besides consulting, they're also engaged in community service, an outgrowth of Drucker's view that an organization is not an end in itself. An organization is an organ of society and fulfills itself by the contribution it makes to the outside environment. Among the projects that the Drucker Club has taken on is collecting and delivering books to a high school in a rural mountain area. One of the earliest Drucker Society models is being used in Korea, where corporate executives gather regularly to read Drucker's books and discuss how to apply his teachings in their companies. In the 21st century, it will be on the job where adults continue learning, Drucker wrote in his 1993 book, Post-Capitalist Society. Training is, of course, nothing new, he added, but it used to be restricted to the beginner. Increasingly, training in one form or another will also become lifelong. Among those who have taken this lesson to heart is Sung Woo Nam, the chairman and CEO of Pumwan Holdings, one of South Korea's top food products manufacturers. Inspired by Drucker, Pumwan has changed his shift schedule to allow factory employees to regularly take part in technical and career development classes. At the same time, the company has reconceived its promotion system so that these production workers now have the opportunity to work their way up to management. Additionally, Pumwan has used Drucker's teachings to hone its basic mission, improve its measurement techniques, set up employee suggestion systems to foster innovation, and recommit itself to social responsibility. The Drucker Society of New York City is taking a similar tack. Of late, members there have been using Drucker's text to develop strategies for responding to the financial crisis, which has hit its community especially hard. One member, Doug Waterman, knows firsthand the challenges of our turbulent times. The owner of an apparel company, he has seen a sharp downturn in business. But from Drucker's writings, Waterman says he learned that the most important job of a manager is to anticipate crisis. Armed with this idea, along with Drucker's message about keeping your people in the loop and getting candid feedback and dialogue, Waterman began holding roundtable discussions with his employees. The goal, he says, has been to tackle the big questions Drucker talked about, like which markets to enter and exit, what products to push and abandon. As a result of this dialogue, Waterman and his team decided that federal stimulus money earmarked for big infrastructure projects would spur demand for affordable men's workwear. So he invested in reviving a dormant brand in this clothing category, and sales have started to pick up. Drucker gave us the tools we needed to weather the storm, Waterman says. This is the Drucker Society Network in action, affecting not just one individual's thinking, but an entire organization's behavior and results. While Drucker is perhaps best known for his counsel to corporate CEOs, including General Electric's Jack Welch, Procter & Gamble's A.G. Lafley, and many more, he spent much of his later years advising social sector leaders. With this in mind, the Drucker Society of Dallas is seeking to make a difference in its community by teaching local nonprofits core Drucker principles. By partnering with the Institute of Public Affairs at the University of Texas at Dallas, Drucker Society volunteers have trained leaders from more than 30 nonprofit organizations. Dozens more are signed up for future sessions, which revolved around what Drucker called the 5 most important questions you will ever ask about your organization. What is our mission? Who is our customer? What does the customer value? What are our results? What is our plan? Other Drucker societies, from Kansas City, Missouri to Mannheim, Germany, are also concentrating their energies on the nonprofit sector. Approaching Drucker in a more scholarly fashion, several Drucker societies, including those in Korea, Japan, and Austria, hold conferences that bring together hundreds of university professors, corporate executives, and government leaders for formal lectures. In Japan and Korea, the Drucker Society supplement these programs by publishing the academic journals Civilization and Management and Creativity and Innovation. In Vienna, Drucker's birthplace, a global forum titled Reaching Out, Coming Home, will showcase Drucker's European roots while also pointing the way toward the future of management. Among those slated to speak on the 100th anniversary of Drucker's birth, November 19, 2009, are such management luminaries as Charles Handy, C.K. Prahalad, and Herman Simon. Peter Drucker has given us both huge questions for the 21st century and the reasoning to find the right answers, says Richard Straub, the president of the Drucker Society of Austria. Among Drucker's greatest strengths was his relentless focus on the future, and so it is especially fitting that Drucker Societies are also working closely with the next generation. The Drucker Society of Japan, known locally as the Japan Drucker Workshop, is promoting the sale of books written by its members and has also arranged for the sale of Drucker t-shirts and polo shirts. Proceeds from these items fund the donation of books by Peter Drucker to Japanese high schools. More than 5,000 school libraries are slated to receive Drucker titles as part of this program, dubbed Boys and Girls Read Drucker Now. I want to apply management to my life, says one high school student, Kunio Tsukamoto, who started out by reading the anthology The Essential Drucker. The book asks, "What do you want to be remembered for?" I am using this question as a way to measure my intellectual growth. It is the path that I want to pave in advance. In Los Angeles, Drucker Society volunteers are collaborating with high school students, teaching them Drucker's 5 questions through 3 narratives. One captures United Farm Workers leader Cesar Chavez's sense of mission. Another spotlights basketball star turned inner-city developer Irvin Magic Johnson's focus on the customer. And the third tells of Teach for America founder Wendy Kopp's emphasis on results and plans. But this isn't just a lecture. The students take Drucker's principles and use them to shape and implement a community service project. At LA's Camino Nuevo High School, for instance, students are applying Drucker's thinking to better manage a neighborhood cleanup drive and a Feed the Homeless initiative. I thought the 5 questions were a great way to narrow down your idea so you can actually get things done, says Hugo Camarillo, a Camino Nuevo 10th grader. In the end, the goal is for the students to walk away not only with a stronger sense of social responsibility, but with the means to become more effective self-managers, whether it's doing their schoolwork, choosing a college, or pursuing a career. In all of these efforts across the world, we recognize that we're only at the beginning. Much work remains to be done. To that end, we are constantly measuring, assessing, and refining our programs with the help of our partners at the professional services firm Deloitte. So come, be part of our network. Come join our global movement for effective management and ethical leadership. Individuals, Drucker wrote, need an additional sphere of social life, of personal relationships, and of contribution outside and beyond the job. The one area this need can be satisfied, he added, is through volunteering. There, individuals can contribute. They can have responsibility. They can make a difference. Organize or join a Drucker Society. Help make the future for your community. For more on the Drucker Society Global Network, please visit www.druckerinstitute.com.